Well, thank you so much, and good afternoon to you and to the viewers at home. We welcome you from the upmarket suburb of Camps Bay in a top-end hotel here. That's South Africa rolling out the red carpet for all the delegates of this BRICS meeting of foreign ministers. The host, of course, is Professor Anil Suklale, who is the ambassador at large for both the Asian region as well as BRICS countries. Professor Suklale, thank you so much for your time. Firstly, you're convening this minister meeting of foreign ministers here in Cape Town, as South Africa is the chair of the BRICS countries. What are you hoping to achieve, and what's the significance of this particular meeting?
Well, as you know, South Africa is president of the BRICS configuration this year, and we are hosting a number of high-level ministerial meetings, this being one of them, meeting of foreign ministers. And this is a precursor to the summit that President Ramaphosa will host in August this year. It's traditional for the foreign ministers to meet, to look at global issues and how they can work together in addressing these, and also to look at preparations for the summit. So the meeting this afternoon that Minister Panda will host is divided into 4 segments, looking at four important issues. The first, the ministers will deliberate on the global geopolitical environment and the global economic challenges that we are all facing. Secondly, ministers will exchange views on the global financial system, including a report from the New Development Bank. One of our vice presidents, the South African Vice President Leslie Marsdorp, will give us a report on the activities in the bank and some of the challenges we are facing at the bank and the way forward. Thirdly, we will focus on preparations for the summit itself.
Talking about the preparations for the summit, has the issue of the arrest warrant issued for Russian President Vladimir Putin not clouding the preparations for this summit in August?
Of course, it's a challenge for South Africa. South Africa is a responsible member of the international community. We are mindful of our legal and treaty obligations. So President Ramaphosa takes this very seriously, and that is why he's appointed a high-level committee headed by Deputy President Mashatile to look into the issue and advise how best South Africa deal with this. But at the same time, we continue with our preparations for the summit, and we are confident that we will host a successful summit.
How long do you think that process is going to take that's headed by the Deputy President, given the huge interest in this particular matter, as well as on the backdrop that the DA has gone to court to ensure that it asks for a judgment that would enforce South Africa to arrest the Russian president if he sets foot in South Africa?
Well, it's a serious matter, and that's why President is taking it very seriously. The committee is hard at work, and I'm sure very shortly they will come up with a report to advise our president on how best to deal with this matter.
Talking about issues of global political environment, what exactly will you be looking into that?
Well, I think we will look at, as is traditional, we get an opportunity to look at the challenges on the multilateral front. Look, one of the major focus of BRICS is reform of the multilateral system, the political system, the UN system, the Bretton Woods institution, and also reform of the WTO. So we will discuss all of that. It's also traditional to look at the global hotspots where we have conflict in all parts of the world. So ministers will get an opportunity to reflect on that and exchange views, and how best BRICS can assist in bringing about peace and trying to mediate wherever there are conflicts.
Now, I want to put you on the spot. South Africa has taken a position in relation to the Ukraine and Russia conflict, and it doesn't seem to be pleasing countries like the United States of America. Does South Africa not fear that they may have a fallout with the US, particularly with the AGOA coming under review in 2025?
Well, I think international relations are conducted on the basis of recognizing the sovereignty and territorial integrity, the independence of the foreign policy of each country. And as South Africa, we are an independent nation. We have our own foreign policy positions. And our position on the Russia-Ukraine conflict has been articulated several times by our principals, our president included, Minister Pando included. We do not take sides because As South Africa, we'd like to see peace, and our emphasis and focus has been on how can we ensure a sustainable peace through diplomatic means, through negotiations with the UN at the center of this process. So we are not supporting any one camp against the other. What we are saying, we have a non-aligned position, and that doesn't mean sitting on the fence. Non-alignment is a position, and we shouldn't be forced by certain powers that you must side with us or side against others. And I think that is the respect that South Africa begets, and would like to see that our position is respected and pressure not put on us and threatening so-called unilateral measures because we don't support your position. You should be able to respect the position of neutrality that South Africa has taken and that South Africa stands for peace.
Lastly, in a minute, Professor Suklal, to bring these issues that we're talking about home. South Africa, is the country going to be having any discussions around how the BRICS countries can assist us with our energy crisis?
Of course, we have an energy cooperation forum. We have the energy platform within BRICS. Energy is an issue that is widely discussed amongst our energy ministers. They will have the dedicated meeting looking at also how BRICS can assist us in addressing our energy challenge. We have raised this with several of our BRICS partners. They are all strong in terms of energy generation. If you look at China and India, they are populations of 1.4 billion plus each. China produces a surplus of energy, and I'm sure there are lessons for us, both from China, from India. Russia is an energy surplus country, itself being gas and oil rich. Brazil generates the highest level of green energy globally. Over 60% of Brazil's energy is derived through green energy. So all of BRICS countries are very strong in this field, and we have approached them, and these are discussions we are also having.
Thank you so much. We wish you all the best in your deliberations. Professor Anil Suklale, who is the South African ambassador at large for both the Asian region as well as the BRICS countries. Of course, for our viewers at home, you can catch some of the discussions that will be happening here at this BRICS meeting. At 3 o'clock, the ministers' briefing will be held here at this top-end hotel, as well as a joint press conference by all the 5 foreign ministers at about 20 past 6. You can follow us on those discussions on our SABC News platform. And on that note, I will cross back to you in studio.